Okay, recording is started. Fine. So we are almost very late, okay, because of the network issue. So I'm sorry for that. So I'll start as quickly, okay. So good morning, everyone. So this is your class of railway engineering. This is your professional elective one. So we are discussing about different component of railway track, right? So in the last class we have discussed, till last class we have discussed uh, different important component of railway track like rail, sleeper, railway track, track gauge, fine. And in the last previous class, we have discussed about ballast, right? So yesterday we have discussed about ballast and its requirement and different types of ballast and different condition of suitability of using different ballast and different situation. Fine. So in today class, you can take this as a last class of the first module. Okay. So sixth class. This one is a sixth class. Fine. So here I'll share my screen now. Okay, can you see my screen? Is it visible? So please do respond, okay? Okay. Chalo.
Sir,
Okay. Okay. So here you can see the topic. It's wrong. That's a class note. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we are going to discuss about the problem of multi-gauge system. Okay. So in previous class we already discussed about different gauge, right? Like in India we used broad gauge, meter gauge, narrow gauge. Fine. So at least we have three unique type or unique track gauge. Okay. And for each gauge have different dimension. Okay. If you remember what is gauge, gauge is defined as the distance between the inner face of two rail. Okay. The gauge is what? The distance between the inner face of the rail. So depending on the distance between the inner face of the rail, in India we have three category of gauge. Okay, that is first one your standard gauge, or you can say the broad gauge, then meter gauge, and then narrow gauge. Under narrow gauge also we have two dimensions. So up to these things, it is clear to you already. I have discussed in previous class. Okay. Now, since we have a different type of gauge, and I also show you, I have also show you one map of Indian railway. Okay. Again, I will show you now. No problem. Wait a second. Let me see. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think this one. Here you can see, right? Is it visible? So here you can see the Indian map. Okay. Here you can see the Indian railway map, and it's showing different type of gauge starting from the important broad gauge and other broad gauge. They are same, okay, almost. based on the importance or working purposes, they are divided in category important and other broad gauge, but dimensions are same. Okay, that means whole all over the India, you can see the dark red color line. These all are broad gauge. Fine. At broad gauge have a standard dimension 1.6 something. Okay, you just take in your previous class notes. Similarly, we have meter gauge line and narrow gauge line. Okay, and somewhere we have parallel broad gauge and meter gauge line also. Even here in Assam also you can see a very few uh, broad gauge line. Here you can see red line, and mostly we have meter gauge and narrow gauge. Okay, and if you remember in the previous classes also I have discussed about uh, in which situation or which site or based on what location different gauges are used. Okay, and I have already mentioned that in hilly area, okay, or narrow passes or in tunnel, okay, in that case we don't go for broad gauge one, we go for meter gauge or narrow gauge. That's why in northeast India, since it's a kind of a surrounded by hill, we have mostly meter gauge and narrow gauge on, and only one, you can see one or two broad gauge are there to connect with the different state like West Bengal and all, and different part of the India. Got it? These things are already discussed in previous class. So from this map, you can at least observe that we have different type of gods over the India. And you also, I have also discussed about that different one train which traveling over one god, it cannot move in different gods. Okay, so train or locomotive or engine, you can say, or wagon are designed based on the track or based on the track gauge. Okay, that means if a train is moving along a broad gauge route, it cannot move to the meter gauge line or it cannot move to the narrow gauge line. Okay, since the wheels of a train and wagons are so manufactured in such a way that they can move through a particular gauge only. I think you are getting my point, right? So in India and in most of the country, we can say we have a multi-gauge system. Okay, in India, even in India also we have multi-gauge system. Now, because of the presence of multi-gauge system, we have some problem. Okay, so in this topic, in this class, we're going to discuss some problems faced by passengers or faced by a country as a whole. Okay, are you getting my point? Am I audible, right? Okay. So the first point that we're going to discuss about problem of multi-gauge system, that is inconvenience to passengers. Okay, so of course, suppose you want to go to southern part of the country. If you are not taking a specific route, if you are taking a meter gauge line, okay, suppose to Kolkata, I'm talking hypothetically. Okay, I'm not taking exact meaning, but to understand, to make you understand, I'm giving some example. Suppose you want to go to the southern part of India, okay, but you have taken a train which can only travel to Kolkata, okay, because that particular train you have to, it is on meter gauge. Okay, now to reach your destination, you have to change your train. Okay, because the train from Kolkata to southern part of India, it is on broad gauge. Okay, I'm giving you just an example. That means you have to, shift your luggage, and you have to uh, come out of the first train, and you have to enter in the second train again. You have to book your ticket again, like that. So it is little bit inconvenience for passengers. Okay, so these things are elaborate here. Any problem? So even here also it is written here. Due to change in gauge, passengers have to change train mid-journey along with their luggage, which cause inconvenience such as the following. So क्या क्या passenger को तकलीफ होता है, they are given here. So like climbing stairs and crossing bridges. Of course, you can see there's a cross bridge over the railway station. You have to cross it. So getting seat into the compartment of the latter train. There is again, it is very kind of a situation whether you are getting a train seat or not in the second train. Then missing connection with the later train in case of earlier train is late. Okay, so there is a issue also. Then a harassment caused by porters, or you can say the coolie, and transporting luggage from one platform to another. So these are very basic problems that faced by a passenger during changing one train to another. This is a basic problem. Even you also, I think, you have faced in your past. Next, difficulty in transit transshipment of goods. That means the during the transport of the good from one state to another, okay, or one location to another location, if there is a not one common route of having one common goods, there's a problem of shifting the goods, heavy goods, from one train to another. It's required labor. Okay, so goods have been transshifted at the point where the change of goods take place, and this cause the following problem. And what are the problem? It may cause damage to the good. Okay, then considerable delay in receipt of goods at the destination. Okay, since its handling is maybe very crucial, it will take time. It may take time. So the time of receiving the good at a destination point may get late because of that shifting of one from one train to another. Then theft or misplacement of goods during transshipment and subsequent claims. So here it is a very common problem even in India, shift, uh, thief or misplacement. I think you have all got the idea. Okay. The non-availability of adequate and specialized transshifting labor staff, particularly during strike. So this is also no need to explain here. Uh, Especially in some situation where there is no available labor, so it's become very difficult to shift one heavy goods material to the another train station or another train. Okay, so this is all about your difficulty in transshipment of goods. Next, insufficient use of rolling stock. So rolling stock means the as a whole it's called a combination of train or wagon or with wood goods carrying wagons, everything is called rolling stock. Okay, you can also check in Google, you'll find out. Okay, so insufficient use of rolling stock means what? Suppose one train came with goods at what particular station, okay, then you shift the goods from one station, one train to another. Then the first train have to return to its original position empty. That means we can say there is a misuse of trade engine or manpower, because the train is moving back to its original position without any benefit. Okay, it's moved empty in the direction back to its home. So it's kind of, you can say it is under insufficient use of rolling stock. Okay, so as wagon have to move empty in the direction of the transshipment point, they have not fully utilized. Similarly, idle wagon or engine of one goods cannot be moved to another goods. This is also one of the problem. Okay, so there is an insufficient use of rolling stock. Okay, so next, here you can see it is given here. So hindrance to fast movement of goods and passengers traffic. So let me underline here also. So due to change in the goods, traffic cannot move fast, which become a major problem, particularly during emergencies such as war, flood, and accidents. So during emergency time, when you need something in a very quicker time, in that period, in that time, or in that situation, that multi-gauge system give a very big problem, become very big problem, because it wastes your time, and at the time, the time is very valuable. So especially in case of emergency, or in case during the war or flood or accident. Okay, so so in that, for that scenario, to be ready for that scenario, we go for a broad common route line. Okay, from uh, a point origin point to the destination point, to reduce the time consuming. Okay, next, additional facilities at station and yards. So you all know, you have already familiar with the railway station. If you see, there is a, in the whole railway yard we have a station one. Okay, one station is there, then different compartments are there. Okay, I'm talking about railway station only. Okay, then we have a room for stock, all these things. And in case of, because of the double or multi gauge system, we have to make the same facility or same equipment double. You have to make double for both gauge. If in particular station we have two or multiple gauge track, we have to provide that facility for individual track. Okay, that means for that we need a duplicate equipment and facility provided for each platform or for each station yard. Okay, next, difficulties in balanced economic growth. It is in the wider point of view, it is given here. So the difference in gauge also leads to unbalanced economic growth. This happens because the industries set up near meter gauge and narrow gauge station cannot send their goods economically and efficiently to areas having served by broad gauge station. I think this thing no need to explain all this thing. I think you have got this thing. Okay, that means suppose if a particular area, a big industry is there, and to transport its product uh, to the wider area, suppose it required a train, railway track, and it's better to have a one common route. Common route means a railway track having a constant gauge. Okay, but in India, since we have a multi-gauge system, nearly it is not possible here. Okay, that's why, because of the changing of the goods from one train to another, the growth rate of economic growth rate of a particular industry, or you can say in a broad way, a growth rate of India, or even one particular country, is greatly harmed by multi-gauge system, since it harm economically. Okay, or also wastage of time and manpower. Okay. Next, difficulties in future gauge conversion process. Even if you want to convert, or if you want to replace one gauge with another gauge, it's very expensive. Okay, suppose in a particular area there was a narrow gauge. Okay, narrow gauge, it's smaller one, right? Now if you want to replace the narrow gauge from broad gauge, suppose in the place of narrow gauge you need to provide a broad gauge. Now if you know, if I think you know that narrow gauge are smaller in width compared to the broad gauge. That means if you want to provide a broader or broad gauge, you need a larger area in cross-sectional direction. You need a larger length of sleeper, or larger amount of ballast, or larger amount of embankment or foundation. Got it? So with the increase of the gauge, with the increase of track gauge, the whole construction cost also going to increase. Okay, that means a gauge conversion is quite difficult, as it requires enormous effect to widen ex- existing track. Widening the gauge involves heavy civil engineering work such as widening of the embankment, widening of the bridge and tunnel, as well as the tracks. Additionally, a wider rolling stock. Rolling stock means we are talking about the wagon or the locomotive or engine part. Additionally, a wider rolling stock is also required. That means we need to replace the rolling stock, where we need to replace the engine also. That we already told that an engine which move through a particular gauge, it cannot move in a different gauge. That means if you are changing the gauge, you have to change the wagon, you have to change the engine part also. That means overall you have to change the rolling stock also. So during the gauge conversion period, there are operational problems as well. That means suppose you are changing the drop, you cannot move train in that particular area. Since the traffic has to be slowed down, or you have to stop that traffic, even suspended for a certain period in order to execute the work. Okay, during the construction, during the shifting of the garage, your movement of the train must be slowed down or must be suspended for a period during the executing time. Got it? So this is all about the problem faced by a country having a multi-gauge system. Even in India is also facing this kind of problem. Okay, so in a broad way, I want to summarize my class. So whenever I say the problem faced by a country like India due to the multi-gauge system, they are first and foremost, you have to first remember the passenger problem. Okay, the inconvenience to problem. You need to remember what are the problems faced by a passenger. Okay, you can also uh, write down your point from your experience. Then difficulty faced during the transhifting of goods. Next, insufficient use of rolling stock. Then obstruction to fast moving of goods and passenger traffic. Then additional facilities at station and yard. That means due to the multi-gauge system, you have to give a duplicate facility. That means double facility, even in the same railway station and yards. Then difficulties in balanced economic growth. So this is already discussed here. That means economic growth slow down because of the changes in the track. And finally, the future cost conversion project may be difficult. Okay, that means the alteration of costs practically, it's a very tedious work. Okay, and it's time consuming, and also it also expensive. Okay, it will may also you have to slow down your train or maybe suspended for a period of executing of work. So these are the difficulty faced by a country because of the multi-cost system. I hope it is clear to you. It is not that difficult thing to understand. You have all have experienced the rail journey, so I think we can understand from even from your experience. Is it clear to you? If it is clear, then I want to close my sharing now. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me. And if you don't have any doubt, then I will just take your attendance. Is it clear? Okay, great. So I'll not waste time then. I'll take attendance for you. Before that, I'll just switch off my, I'll stop my recording. Okay, then after that, I'll take your attendance. I'll stopping my recording here.